What up is Marcus with Dynasty Fun. We have rookie ADP, and we're going to be doing who's overrated, who's underrated compared to my rankings. And if you're new to the channel, we have a DeAndre Swift signed jersey. We're giving that away to one of you guys subscribers here. So, Breece Hall is the 101. And Breece Hall is, I think, the easiest pick in the entire 2022 rookie class. Doesn't matter if you're 1 QB, super flex. These are actually 1 QB rankings. But you can probably filter in some super flex stuff as well. So these are the top 10 players according to average draft position. If you have your favorite average draft position website, please put it in the comment box below so I can even filter and go through some stuff. A lot of times I'll even do some polls, which I'll do probably pretty quickly here. I'll do some polls of some of these major, these Dynasty players that are, I would call veterans. Because when we had the Dynasty veterans versus the ADP, it's funny, the ADP was completely different than the veterans of Dynasty, and it slowly kind of shifted into, over the 2-month period, into what the veterans said in basically February, or in March. Like, we did this thing, and it was like, oh, they really highly value Kyle Pitts, and you watch his ranking just kind of move up. And same for other players as well. So stay tuned to that. We'll be doing that here soon. 101, though, Breece Hall, 1.4 average, which means there's going to be some people that have Kenneth Walker, Treylon Burks, Garrett Wilson. One of those 3 players ahead of Breece Hall, but I think Breece Hall is the easiest pick. You got to have Breece Hall 101. And if you don't, I think you just got to trade out of the pick, because from 2 to 5, I mean, it doesn't really matter. 2 to 6, I think there's not a huge gap or huge tier break through there. So I think you take Breece Hall. If you don't, you're trying to trade out of that pick, and you're trying to accumulate either 2023 picks or later 2022 picks. Treylon Burks, this is where we actually have full point gap. So 2.4 is Treylon Burks, which is surprising to me a little bit here, because Treylon Burks has been my number 1 wide receiver based off of, I think this class is weak in a lot of things, but I think Treylon Burks offers the most upside. A.J. Brown upside, top 6 Dynasty upside. We're hoping that he finds a really, really good spot, but being 6'2", 225 pounds, he has a really set of skills that I think are hard to match with any of the other wide receivers in this class. And so I even look at some of the rankings. He's 2-2, 3-2, 2-1, 3, 4, 6. I can see that happening. I can see some players saying, hey, Treylon Burks is not my number 1 wide receiver. I can see people saying, hey, I want Drake London. I want Garrett Wilson. I want them ahead of Treylon Burks. And I don't question it. They're basically in a tier for me. And so Treylon Burks, 2.4. And number 3.5, which would be 3, is Kenneth Walker. And I think this is the easy, if you're in need of a running back, he's the easy number 2 pick or the number 3 pick. Or if you don't need a running back, he could fall down to 4, 5, 6, somewhere around that area. Kenneth Walker is my easy running back number 2 in this class. After that, it starts to get really, really sketchy really, really quickly. And so Kenneth Walker is right now ranked number 3. And if you look at his ranking, 4-3, 1-6, 3, 4, 4, 4, 3, 3. So a lot of people kind of have him in that group, but there's some people that have him below. One person has him at number 1, or one website has him at number 1, which is, it is what it is. I would rather have Breece Hall. I see the argument to have Kenneth Walker necessarily ahead of Breece Hall unless it's a crazy difference in landing spot. But still, that's going to be hard. I think Breece Hall is going to be the most concrete thing in this class. Garrett Wilson, 4.4. Again, I've told you that 1A, 1B, and you can even say Drake London, 1C. Like, they're a tier. You look at Garrett Wilson, 5'5", 4'3", 4'8", which I think is a little bit crazy. 3'5", 2", and so you're going to have him right around that second wide receiver taken in a lot of different drafts. He offers the safest floor, I think, but he doesn't offer the upside of a top 5 wide receiver, in my opinion. He offers Terry McLaurin. He offers DJ Moore-ish type of talent and skill, which puts him into this high wide receiver 2. Probably going to be a frustrating not wide receiver 1. And he's not going to be this top 5 talent like Treylon Burks can be. And so that's what you're going to get out of this class. I don't see a Jamar Chase in this class. I don't see a Justin Jefferson in this class. It's just my opinion. And number 5 is Drake London. Drake London, I have him right into that area. He's 6'3", 219 pounds. Drake London, the biggest issue with him, of course, was recovering from that ankle injury. He has all the skill. We talked about him being the best USC receiver in the last 4 years. Michael Pittman, Amon-Ra St. Brown. We know what they're doing at the next level, but Drake London has even been better at USC. And so that's a very good spot for Drake London. He's the wide receiver 3, which, again, 1A, 1B, 1C is what we've been talking about. Number 6, my biggest faller. If you haven't seen that video, I'm going to discuss why he's my biggest faller. But Isaiah Spiller, running back 3, which is where I have him as running back 3. But I'm really questioning if he will stay at 6. And I don't think he's going to stay at 6. I think draft capital is going to crush his value. Somebody has him at number 1. And because I see it, it goes 8, 4, 6, 4, 5, 1, 5, 3, 6, 9. There is not a world that I see myself drafting him above Kenneth Walker or above Breece Hall. Not a world that I see. It doesn't matter if he goes to the perfect situation. In the perfect situation, he goes to Buffalo, or he in the first round. If he's a first round draft pick, which those two things he will not get drafted in the first round. But let's just say he does, and Breece Hall goes to Miami, and Kenneth Walker goes to Minnesota or something like that. I don't know why Minnesota drafted running back. That they popped him in my head, or Green Bay, some horrible spot. I'd still probably draft Kenneth Walker in a horrible situation over Isaiah Spiller. That's how much I feel strongly about how Isaiah Spiller should not be number 1. No. Number 7, average 7.9. So it's a big gap. So you talk about Drake London was 5, Isaiah Spiller was 5.1, Chris Olave 7.9. So right around that 7 range. And so Chris Olave is not my wide receiver 4. He's behind Jameson Williams and George Pickens. I can kind of see it, but really I think Chris Olave, I think Jameson Williams offers the higher upside again. He offers Treylon Burks upside, but he's just going to be gone for primarily his rookie year. And George Pickens, again, has that upside as well. And Chris Olave, I just don't see it. I see more of this, not Rashad Bateman, because they're different wide receivers, but I see a high wide receiver 3, low wide receiver 2, which is valuable in Dynasty, and don't get me wrong. I don't see wide receiver 1 in Chris Olave. I just don't see it. I think he's second fiddle to Garrett Wilson. I think Garrett Wilson offers a better floor, and I think he offers a better ceiling. And we talked about Garrett Wilson being a high-end wide receiver too. I just don't see that part of Chris Olave's game to make him be this high-end wide receiver 2. I think he's a high-end wide receiver 3, maybe low-end wide receiver 2. And I would rather have Jameson Williams, who's going to be 8.1, which is really close to Chris Olave. And they have 6, 8, 8, 8, 11, 9, 7, 7, 10, which I'm kind of surprised about with Jameson Williams. I'm surprised that somebody didn't take the jump and leap. And there's going to be those people out there, especially big rebuilding teams. They're going to draft him 5. It's going to be the Travis Etienne effect. They're going to draft him 5. They're going to draft him 4, 6, somewhere around there. And I can see some teams doing that because they see the upside and potential that Jameson Williams gives. And that's why he's up there into that he's that second tier ahead of Chris Olave. And so George Pickens is the wide receiver 6 that they have. And it's a 2-pick gap, basically, because it's 8.1 average to 10 average. He's right around between 8 and 12 in pretty much everyone's area, and I think I have him slightly higher than because I have him right in. I don't have him in the teens, which were 1, 2, 3, 4, about 70% of them have him in the teens, and his average is 10. I think George Pickens gives you that upside that I like. He's a big bust potential though, and his situation is going to be demand if he's going to stay in tier 2, if he's going to drop into tier 3 with Jahan Dotson, with Chris Olave, or if he kind of stays in there with Jameson Williams, depending on where Jameson Williams goes. And so the last player they're going to have is Rashad White, and he's drafted 10.9 RB4. His thing can fluctuate all the way from 6 to 13 here, and I think Rashad White has been moving closer and closer with Isaiah Spiller, or vice versa. Isaiah Spiller has been moving closer and closer to Rashad White. He's a big-bodied guy that ultimately does lack some power and stuff, but he's a very, very capable pass catcher. In this type of the league, especially PPR leagues, Rashad White is a valuable running back. He's 6'2", 210 pounds. If you have a 6'2", 210-pound capable pass catcher, that's Antonio Gibson-like. But Antonio Gibson's an extreme athlete. So you're talking about a very late version of Antonio Gibson. You could easily see Rashad White be a backup, be Atlanta's backup. All of a sudden, Mike Davis goes down, or Cordell Patterson goes down. Rashad White goes in, and he doesn't take it. He's this 2-year, 3-year running back Atlanta, and he doesn't give up the job. I also think he's going to have the draft capital enough to be a day 2, round 3 pick. I think that's exactly where you're going to see Rashad White. He's going to be drafted even potentially after James Cook. I think he's going to be potentially even drafted after players like Zamir White. But to me, Rashad White is capable enough that I actually like him. And then there's a lot of people that don't like him. And I don't understand necessarily the hate on him. Maybe it's the power. I think he lacks sometimes some vision issues at times. But, I mean, this running back class is not deep. It's 1, 2, and then the rest. And I think Rashad White has enough attributes that I like to put him here at number 10, at RB4. All right, so this is Marcus Dynasty Fun. We'll see you again soon. Peace out, take care, and comment below. All right, take care, guys.